Ladakh is that mountainous region in the northern state of Kashmir, comprising of the Karakoram range of mountains in the north and the greater Himalayas in the south. It is a land of immense beauty, with ragged snow-capped peaks and high passes. Literally translated, Ladakh means the land of high passes. It also means that traveling in that region is extremely challenging because of the combination of treacherous roads, high altitudes, and extreme weather conditions. Interestingly, these are the same reasons that draw adventurers to it, especially adventure motorcyclists, and it figures in the top most challenging motorcycle journeys of the world. There were, of course, a number of reasons why we wanted to do the trip. At least for me personally, the longing for adventure was the foremost. And it also gave me an opportunity to get away from the boredom of my day-to-day life and hang out with these guys whom I had not met in quite a while.
Raja and I, we go back a long way, but it's great to catch up with him again on a trip like this. And we are looking forward to having some fun together again.
And make more memories.
Yeah, right.
We started from Chandigarh on the 5th of August and headed towards Udhampur 400 kilometers away. It was an enjoyable, stress-free ride as we were in the plains and the roads were fairly good. It was also an opportunity to get together and ride in formation for the first time, and we slowly got into the groove. Our troubles actually started from Udhampur as it started raining in the middle of the night, and when we were ready to ride for Sonmarg in the morning, it was pouring.
As you can see, the weather is really bad. It's been raining all throughout the night, and it's expected to continue raining throughout the whole day. This is going to complicate things pretty much.
The heavy rains had triggered a landslide in the road, leading to an endless traffic jam. To add to our woes, one of our bikes had a puncture, and that took about 2 hours to repair. We made the best of the time we had, having breakfast and chatting with other bikers who got caught in the jam. The delays due to the landslide and the puncture, however, ensured that we could not reach Sonmarg that evening, and instead had to halt in Srinagar. We had planned to avoid Kashmir initially because of the political turmoil there, but at the last moment decided to go ahead. It turned out to be one of the best decisions of this trip. Looking back, without a doubt, that was the most enchanting leg of the whole journey, especially our stay at the Dal Lake in Srinagar. Kashmir is beautiful. The mountains, the valleys, the rivers, the lakes, everything is picture postcard-like. And so are the people. Irrespective of what is reported in the media, the people were warm and hospitable. Nowhere did we feel unwelcome or threatened, and we got to experience the legendary Kashmiri hospitality in the houseboat that we stayed that night in Srinagar.
ये सर चिकन है, ये मटन है।
ठीक है, वो तो देखते ही पता लग जाता है। वो चिकन बोला फिर मटन ने साहब ने बोला बनाओ।
It was supposed to be the peak tourist season, but unfortunately there were hardly any tourists to be seen, scared away by recent incidents of political violence. But the average Kashmiri wants nothing more than what any other Indian wants: a decent life, good education, and a secure future for their children. It is the politics of hate that has turned this beautiful land into a troubled one. Izaz, the houseboat owner, echoes the sentiment of the average Kashmiri.
आप कितना साल से इधर हो?
बहुत से बचपन हो गया इधर। हम पैदा ही पानी ये डल झील में हुआ।
अच्छा, अभी सिचुएशन कैसा है? टूरिस्ट लोग अभी तो दिख रहा है बहुत कम।
हाँ, बहुत कम है। अभी तो हमारे यहाँ सीजन चल था। ये थोड़ा मीडिया की वजह से हो गया था। मीडिया थोड़ा कम न्यूज़ गलत देते हैं, बोलते ये चीज़ है, ये चीज़ है। बाकी यहाँ तो कुछ नहीं है। कश्मीर तो अच्छा है। यहाँ सब टूरिस्ट के ऊपर रहते हैं। हाउस बोट, गाड़ी, टैक्सी, दुकानदार सब टूरिस्ट के ऊपर है। मगर क्या करे, हमारा बदकिस्मती है, थोड़ा रहता ही नहीं हालात ठीक, ये चीज़ देते हैं।
तो लोग जैसे बोलते हैं बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, कुछ तो दिख रहा नहीं है, ऐसा तो ऐसा है नहीं यार।
हाँ वो तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मगर है प्रॉब्लम है, मगर यहाँ गांव वाँव में है, मगर यहाँ तो सिटी वीटी में तो नहीं है। बाकी यहाँ टूरिस्ट को कुछ नहीं बोलते, कोई नहीं बोलता है, बोलते हैं आप लोग जाओ घूमो।
कोई भी उसका टूरिस्ट को
कोई
परेशान
नहीं,
नहीं करता।
कोई परेशान नहीं करता टूरिस्ट को, सब लोग बोलते हैं जाओ टूरिस्ट को घूमो, क्योंकि सब लोग का है टूरिस्ट के साथ। कश्मीर जो है टूरिस्ट, जम्मू कश्मीर टूरिस्ट के ऊपर है। सब लोग बोलते हैं आना चाहिए टूरिस्ट, सब लोग कमाना चाहिए। तो हाउस बोट है, होटल है, टैक्सी है, सब दुकानदार हैं, सब बोलते हैं हम लोग कमाएंगा, ये चीज़ है। बस हालात होना चाहिए, सुधरना चाहिए, सब लोग आना चाहिए कश्मीर के लिए। बोलते हैं हाँ कश्मीर हम जाएंगे घूमने के लिए, कश्मीर एक पैराडाइज है।
The stretch from Srinagar to Sonmarg runs through a valley with mountains on both sides, a gushing river along the road, and beautiful green pastures dotted with pretty villages perched on mountain slopes. The road is excellent too, and the only unwelcome interruption are the smoke belching lorries grunting their way up the mountains. You can't help but stop frequently on this stretch to admire the views. And then suddenly you hit the Zuzila Pass. You take a turn and the road disappears into what at best can be described as a narrow path, littered with rocks and gravel, and hardly wide enough for one truck. A solid rock face on one side and a heart-stopping drop on the other. Add to that a convoy of trucks struggling to maintain the tight hairpin bends and water crossings, and trying to maintain momentum all at the same time. It's scary, plain and simple, and the fact that you are on a motorcycle makes it even scarier because of the ever-present danger of being pushed off the road or being run over by an inexperienced lorry driver. Suddenly, you are faced with this overwhelming sense of no longer being in control and being at the mercy of the trucks around you. It was an indication of what lies ahead and why these are some of the most dangerous roads in the world.
We just crossed Zozila Pass on our way to Kargil from Srinagar, and it took us about an hour. Yeah, it was tough, but not as tough as we thought it would be. Probably because the weather was good. The sun is out, beautiful breeze, and in the background you can see the mountains. You can all see the glaciers actually, the snow.
Apart from the logistical challenges of putting together a trip like this, there was also the human side of things to deal with. I was the only common one connecting the rest of the guys together, and was naturally apprehensive about how they would get along with one another. After all, we'll be together in a group for almost 2 weeks, and add to that the stress that comes with riding every day in such difficult terrain. I've seen a lot of people under stress begin to lose it quickly, and things can get really ugly. My apprehensions were, however, unfounded, as all of us immediately gelled, and though there were disagreements, which is natural, we were able to sort them out amicably. There was a general sense of bonhomie and good humor all through the trip. The stretch from Zozila to Kargil is probably the only one where you can actually relax a bit and enjoy the amazing scenery. The road is perfectly laid out, except for the occasional patches where repairs are being carried out. This is called National Highway 1D and is a critical lifeline for this region, and was hence targeted by the Pakistani army during the Kargil war. A memorial has been built at Dras to honor the soldiers who lost their lives during the war. We were surprised to learn that Dras is one of the coldest places on earth, where temperatures as low as minus 50 degrees has been recorded. And in the dead of winter, it is common for temperatures to drop to minus 30 degrees centigrade. Just before sundown, we came across the majestic Suru River, on the banks of which sits the Kargil town. The fast-flowing river, the mountains in the background, and the rays of the setting sun casting light and shadows on them made for one of the most memorable moments of the trip. The Zozila Hotel, where we put up for the night, was surprisingly modern for such a remote town. The good roads continue all the way to Leh from Kargil, allowing for a stress-free ride with plenty of time to stop and take in the sights. The Layamaru monastery on that stretch is a must-see. Reaching there around lunchtime, I made the mistake of having a sumptuous lunch, which is a no-no while riding, and immediately resulted in my first bout of acute sickness. Thankfully, it was short-lived. A couple of hours later, I had my first breakdown. My bike refused to start.
This is the second time.
It was a problem with the ignition switch. After many attempts, it started and we rode on non-stop to the Royal Enfield Centre at Leh, where they immediately replaced the faulty switch free of cost. We were also astounded to learn that the service centre at Leh stays open all through the night for the months of July to September. We reached Leh in the evening of the fourth day since we left Chandigarh and spent the next day getting some much needed rest. Leh is the headquarters of the Ladakh region of Kashmir. It is spectacularly located in a valley with the Indus River flowing through it and is surrounded by mountains on all sides. It is a quaint Himalayan town, but with many modern hotels and restaurants, and it is the place where one stocks up before heading further into the mountains. There are lots to see in and around Leh, including the Leh Palace and the Hemis and the Thiksay monasteries. At Leh, we also acquired the necessary inner line permits needed to travel further into the region.
तब आप भुवनेश्वर कब आएंगे?
किधर?
भुवनेश्वर, उड़ीसा।
उड़ीसा आएंगे अगले साल।
आप मेरा नंबर रख लीजिए।
The day after, we headed out for Kardungla Pass and Hunda in the Zanskar Valley. Kardungla is a high pass that connects Leh with the Nubra Valley in the north and is supposedly the highest motorable road in the world. But there are also reports that challenge that claim.
कार्दुंगला पास में हूँ। ये ऑल्टीट्यूड है 18,350 फीट। कार्दुंगला पास ये वर्ल्ड का हाईएस्ट मोटरेबल पास बोलते हैं।
It is tough on both man and machine. The thin air and the challenging roads make it one of the most difficult stretches to negotiate, and though it is only 45 kilometers from Leh, it takes considerable amount of time to climb. We started out early so that we could cover as much ground as possible before the melting snow creates difficult water crossings. Even though the weather was clear, we encountered landslides, which is very common in the stretch, and they slowed us down. As we approached the top of the pass, the road became increasingly difficult because of the loose gravel and the steep inclines. The thin air with lower oxygen levels started to take a toll on both rider and machines, and we had a few near misses.
Decision of me because I was trying to overtake a car and I ran out of road.
Our motorcycles started to lose power, and we started running out of breath. We encountered a few bikers whose bikes refused to climb the steep inclines and had to be pushed. Once we made it to the top, we clicked the mandatory pictures and quickly started our descent into the Nubra Valley as Manoj started to show signs of AMS. The road down though was as bad as the one we came up, or even worse, until we reached the valley below. The broken roads of Khadungla gives way to a beautiful asphalted road as we enter the Nubra Valley. I remember a stretch that ran straight for a few kilometers, and it allowed us to relax after the stress of negotiating Khadungla. Parts of the road runs parallel to the Shyok River. We hit the stretch as the sun was slowly going down, lighting up the massive mountain peaks in a warm glow, making the whole scene surreal. We naturally had to stop frequently to take in the spectacle. Soon we came to the small but pretty town of Biscuit, which is the headquarters of the Nubra Valley. We, however, continued till we reached Hunda, where we halted for the night in a very picturesque tented resort right at the foot of a towering mountain.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone!
Hunda is famous for its sand dunes, and Manoj took a shot at dune bashing. But as you can see, it did not turn out to be as much fun as I thought it would be.
Trying some stunts.
Clearly, our motorcycles were designed for this kind of stuff.
This is Manoj's version of off-roading. Pulling the bike.
Because one guy wouldn't give his dirt bike.
Heading back to Leh, we ran into rain and snow at the base of Kadungla and had to take a decision whether to halt for the weather to improve and risk riding in the darkness as the sun was setting, or continue in an attempt to reach Leh while it was still light. We decided to continue in the rain, which eventually stopped. Pangong is the reward you get for all the hardships that you go through on this trip. It is the jewel in the crown of this entire trip. It is about 170 kilometers from Leh, but it takes most of the day to cover this distance because of the tough roads. The jaw-dropping scenery of not just the lake, but also the landscape on the way, however, makes it all worth the while. We also encountered the Himalayan marmot, a rodent peculiar to this area. On the way is the very high Jangla Pass, and the cafe there is a popular halt for people to take rest before moving on. Somewhere on the way from Pangong to Leh, Raja's bike skidded and fell. He twisted his ankle and the foot pegs of his bike broke. He was lucky to get away without any major injury, but his sprained ankle meant he could not join us for the rest of our journey and had to fly back home from Leh. As with most journeys, it becomes more about the people than the places. They become an integral part of the memories that are created. Like the kids we met at the Royal Enfield showroom at Leh. One of the cheeky ones asked me if I would buy them ice cream and couldn't believe it when I agreed. I had never seen a bunch of happier kids in my life. We also met this interesting group of ladies from Maharashtra who had ridden scooters all the way to Lonavla top just to create a record of sorts.
Johnny.
You're from Italy, right?
Yes.
You've been riding all over the world.
He's from Turin, Italy.
Okay, great.
There was also this interesting couple from Italy who were exploring the Himalayas on a motorbike.
Meeting you and wish you a safe journey.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe we'll meet up again somewhere. You never know.
And that's his beautiful wife.
Gee. Just a piece.
Sometimes, even a fleeting encounter like this one can leave a lasting impression.
Tenzin Nodang.
What is your name?
My name is
Tenzin Nodang.
Tenzin Northern.
Are you gonna post about my post? You can't post this. It's my post.
Very good.
Why not?
Guys, we are on the third day. We are at the Kargil. Hey, wait, man. Don't disturb me. I'm in the mood. Okay.
8, 9, 10.
आ जाइए come and rest in this.
एक बस हाँ एक
Bikes are at the back.
yeah of course now it's done oh yeah oh my god show your hands
past the cannonballs fly before they are forever banned. The answer, my friend, is blow.
Vasant, come the other way. Yeah.
The answer is blowing in the wind.
This is Mr. Padi trying his best to light a fire.
How many
For some strange reason, fire is refusing to light. Wasn't it already established? He's the fire plant.
times we can see